What does it mean when you are preaching? That's what I want to talk about in this video, is about when people come across as being preachy or telling you basically how to live your life. Well, when you can sniff out preachiness in somebody, when they're lecturing you, or when they're nagging you even, but I think I just want to keep it simple. I think that we all, in some cases, are judgmental of others and how they do their thing, live their lives, approach this matter, whatever. And when we see the qualities in people that we don't like of somebody, then we judge them. And those are qualities that we don't like within ourselves. So we're seeing these qualities in somebody else that we disapprove of, that are not pleasing to us. And then we judge others, or we map out and spill our whole philosophy on life. And so I just want to be really clear that what I do in my videos, what I say, is a projection of what I know, what I can think about when speaking in my videos, the insights and the knowledge and the information that I have to offer. And you can do with it whatever you want. I really, really hope that in my videos I don't come off as being preachy, because that's not my intention. I actually am not a huge fan of watching astrology videos and thinking that the only way that I'm going to get value from this is by doing what they're saying. And I found that to be the case with some astrologers, and then there's other astrologers who are super left brain and super predictive, like this is going to happen. And the sweet spot between the prescription and the prediction is, well, in short, if you go watch Owning Authenticity and you hear what she has to say on the astrology, on the North Node through Aries, South Node through Libra especially. And I also think that Nadia Shah, the astrologer Nadia Shah, would make a great candidate for someone who hits that sweet spot in the middle between being predictive and telling you what is going to happen, then also giving meaningful information that is prescriptive. But the whole point is, I just want to pour coffee and sit down and drink it and enjoy the video and what the creator is talking about. And that's, very much, the videos from the channel Owning Authenticity, which I feature on the homepage of my channel. You can watch her videos, and prepare yourself a cup of coffee and sit down and, enjoy them. Just for the sake of watching a video and enjoying it, not watching a video and having to take mental notes on, this is what I should do. These are the things that I should do in my life based off of this astrology, based off of what this person is telling me, of how this person tells me how to live my life. You are the co-creator of your own reality. And so when I do my astrology, it may sound like I am telling you what to do when I talk about the astrology for the week, but I'm really not. But there's certain things about how I present the information that are just me being me and expressing myself how I express myself. And there's certain things I can't help, and I'm not going to limit my, self-expression just because I'm so sensitive and tuned in and so concerned, overly concerned, that I'm racking my brain and I'm analyzing of how this message is going to be put across to people. And that is, unnecessary mental anguish and stress of being on YouTube and being overly concerned about what other people think of you that impacts what you say. And I don't do that. When I speak, I am expressing my truth. When I speak, I'm just sharing what I have to share. I'm not telling you, or I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. Although it sounds like that. I was watching one of my videos today, one of my videos on the North Node in Cancer and the South Node in Capricorn. Well, flip it around, the South Node in Cancer, North Node in Capricorn video that I have up on my channel as part of my North Node, South Node through the sign series. So in that video, I was listening to myself and I'm like, you don't know that. How do you know that? Don't tell people how to live their lives. My ego mind was judging me. And it appeared like I was preaching. And again, I have no intentions of that. However, the personal story that I want to insert in here is that there have been times when my dad and I have gotten into arguments. And when we get into arguments, it's usually when he pulls out the South Node in Sagittarius shadow and brings it into a conversation. The South Node in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is all about your philosophy on life, and it's all about your belief system. The shadow side of Sagittarius deals with dogmatism, deals with defending your belief system. It deals with basically being a know-it-all and being up on your throne and up on your soapbox and being a high horse. Staying up on your high horse and basically preaching to people how to live your life because, this works for me and this is my life and I enjoy it and I believe these things and I live this life. Well, people are not going to live the same life as you, and don't expect people to follow what you have to say. You don't know what people's life experience is. You don't know what they're going through. I make videos and I'm trying to dig deep with the astrology videos. I'm trying to make them as personal as I can with what I have to work with, but there are limitations. I make my videos and a lot of the stuff that I say is like, well, I'm going to take that for granted and that for granted and this for granted. I'm going to forget about when I spoke about that, and I'm not going to follow this, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. And that doesn't make sense, and that doesn't make sense over here. That doesn't make sense over there. I mean, that's what I think when I do my videos, and yet I want to do my videos when I talk about the astrology. So maybe the content that I have to provide resonates with somebody, or aspects of the content that I provide resonate with somebody, and these other aspects resonate with someone else. And so that's just a huge thing. It's a generalization, and I am using the astrology, talking about it in the context of, real life, and I'm tying it in with spirituality, and I'm tying it in with my life experience. But it may not make sense. It may not resonate with you. And so I really, really don't like it when I see astrology videos and I just feel like I don't gain anything from listening to this. It's going to go in one ear or the other. And it's the only way that I'm going to gain value to literally verbatim, like I'm reading out of a Bible. I'm watching a video on the weekly horoscope for whatever week by an astrologer. And so for those days and for those events, I have to do this and this and this and this. I don't agree with that at all. I don't agree with that at all. I'm looking away from the camera. I hope that it appears to you like I'm looking at the camera, because I am looking up here, because it's just the angle of how things are set up. So going back to the personal story that I was speaking about, that I made mention of, my dad and I have an interesting relationship. And it's a relationship that is as connected as can be. However, that connection has a little bit of, I just want to make a metaphor. Instead of being together like this, like say my hands are embracing, they're bonding together, the relationship is like this. And maybe this is the closest it can get. All the while, the relationship is like this. See the space between my hands? That's the thing. Because Aquarius is the sign that deals with, it deals with detachment. That's what it deals with. I'm connected and I'm open to what you have to say, but then again, I am not like so connected. I have my individuality. There's a space. Like think of the glyph of Aquarius. The waves are together, yet they're apart. Now, on the positive side, now the relationship with my dad isn't one where there's power struggles, and isn't one where the father is controlling and whatever. However, I was talking about the sweet spot of two different things. What is the sweet spot between allowing somebody to be authentically themselves, but then also not being cut off from them? And that's where we try to put the best of both worlds into the picture and merge the two together. So we are very connected, but that connection has a detachment and has a space there. There's not enough of a warmth or a bedside manner to, that relationship. There's not enough bonding. There's not enough connection. There's not the right kind of sharing of energies and nurturing the other. There's just not enough reciprocity between me and him. I mean, that's the truth. That is the truth. I'm not going to cover the truth up. So, what there is sort of, two people who think and talk in a similar way, methodically. And so there have been things over the years that I found as flaws that I have judged, because those are things that I probably don't care for about myself, or those are things that I do not want to put out into the world. I don't want to be those things. I don't want to present myself in that way, or do whatever. And so it's easy to find those flaws within people, especially family, and then judge them for it, and then tell them how to live life. Whenever um, my, dad inserts those little, um, you know, those kind of interactions between me where he is saying, oh, try to do this, or why do you have to be like this, or what's the positive in this, or what's more important, like those kind of things like that. Especially when it comes to preaching, when dealing with matters associated with the sign of Libra, harmony, connection, balance, fairness, those kind of things like that. Whenever there is preachiness, particularly with Libra rules, then that's what can cause some issues, and that's where we run into problems because Mars is in Libra, and Mars in Libra, just to speak generally about it, it is a dichotomy. In astrology speak, it's considered to be detriment because Mars rules Aries and Libra is the exact opposite sign, although I don't hold that belief of some placements are better than others. That's the fact, apparently. So, Mars in Libra, the one thing I can say about that is it has a difficult time making decisions, but that sort of goes off the point. But the shadow side of Sagittarius is with the South Node there, not really knowing how to communicate as well as maybe somebody else could communicate. So when it comes to the North Node in Gemini, which is his placement, if you have the North Node in Gemini, you are coming in here to learn new information. You're coming in to learn how to teach that information and share that information. Communication is your North Star and is your destiny line. You're coming here to learn to break away from stuttering and stammering and get very, very comfortable with the environment around you. Get very comfortable with communicating and articulating your thoughts, and in a way which you understand how to have healthy conversations. That when somebody, asks you for something or has an interaction, you don't just tell your whole life story and talk about, your grand, adventures. But then you're not bowing down to what you feel is beneath you. And that reminds me of, I think that one of the things that I don't care for is when people ask me, ask me, well, how's your day going? You might as well be asking an oracle card a yes or no question. And my point there is it's a limited answer. I really don't like answering those kind of questions because I have nothing to say, and I'm not going to do the pretend superficial. If somebody asks me, how's your day going? Well, guess what? This is how I'm feeling, and this is what's going on in the present moment in my life. Here it is. I'm going to lay it out on the table. I don't want to do the superficiality. But anyway, your life experience is different than somebody else's, and just because something works for you does not mean it's going to work for another person. Being very theoretical over things, but actually it lacks the substance and it may not make sense for somebody else. And so whenever there is judgments being put my way and preachiness being thrown my way of I should be this, I should do this, I shouldn't complain about this or do whatever, then I get defensive and I speak up about it and I go, no, I don't want to hear it. And the South Node in Sagittarius person is not coming into this life where they can just be up on their soapbox and tell people how to live life. That, yes, you have so much wisdom, you have so much to offer, but if you communicate that in a entitled, self-righteous, and preachy way, people like myself are going to get defensive. They're going to get defensive, and they are going to find a permission slip to defend themselves, their beliefs, their thoughts, what they were doing, that they know what they are doing, and they know what they are saying. I know what I'm doing, and I know perfectly well what I am saying. And I have a right to complain about this and feel this way about this and want this changed and want this fixed and want this more of this. I mean, all those kind of things. Everybody has a right to their own opinion and everything else. And we really need to respect everyone's opinion. And we really need to just stop being so preachy. Just by telling to somebody when they're enjoying, just try to enjoy life, that is fueling that fire. When you make yourself bigger and better and much more intelligent and much more sane and much stronger than they are going to get, I don't want to say intimidated, but they're not going to be open to that new information, and they're not going to be open to receive it, and they're not going to be open to hear it if you try to just preach it. I mean, it can be in a calm, nice way, or it can be in a shouting, angry way. It's still preachy, and it's still wrong. So there comes a point when we need to stop taking ourselves from our own ideas and beliefs, and we need to present that information in a way with, I'm presenting my information. This is a projection of my reality. This is what I have to say. You can do whatever you want. You have free will. I'm offering up this information, but you do not have to apply it verbatim. You do not have to, do all these kind of things. In numerology, my dad is a 3 life path. And so 3 is the number of communication. And so the challenge for the 3 is the openness to understand that and to release the expectation of people taking and applying the information that you're giving, of you presenting this information to somebody and then expecting them to go out and do it. That is what needs to be released. And let me, is there anything else that I want to say? I think that another, aspect of it is the moon being in Aquarius. The moon in Aquarius is healthy in the sense that we can rise above our emotions and we can see them from a higher viewpoint. And so Aquarius could be another candidate, because that's another placement that my dad has in his natal chart, is the moon being in Aquarius. And so the moon in Aquarius is wonderful for stepping away from feeling into the emotions and getting so sucked down and drowned into the emotions at the extreme level, but you can feel the feelings and view them from an objective point of view. But the thing about the moon is it's also how you nurture people. It is also how you take care of people, how you love and nourish the people in your world. The moon deals with emotional connection, and the moon deals with family ties. So you can imagine if the moon's in Aquarius, those are two different things. The moon in Aquarius, in my opinion, is not the greatest for one-on-one relationships. It is not the best. My opinion, I don't know, it may be narrow-minded, and there may be, it all depends on, that's one piece of the puzzle. You may have the moon in Aquarius, and you may have a heavy water chart. Or a lot of Leo in your chart, which is very connected to the heart, and it radiates love and light and generosity. So it's all relative to your natal chart. But taking, kind of the cardboard cutout viewpoint of it, the moon in Aquarius is detached. Do not go to a moon in Aquarius person and expect a deep emotional bond. When dealing with the moon in Aquarius, it may be in the fourth house, or again, it's all relative to your chart. But in general, do not go to people with the moon in Aquarius with the expectation that you're going to get deep emotional nurturing. What you're going to get is somebody who can speak to the obvious truth of what is going on, and somebody who's going to tell you straight. That is in a way where it is way above what this person is dealing with. It is just objective, well, A plus B equals C. And if this is going on in your life, do this. And so that, you add that in with the shadow side of Sagittarius, and you have a recipe for some kind of preachiness. Maybe. So, the moon in Aquarius can be very intelligent and very intellectual, very emotionally concerned with what is going on in the world issues from a broader scale. And so the other thing is, one of my personal pet peeves is when people already tell me things that I already know and do not present me with new information. And that is another reason why we sometimes get into arguments, is that I hear a piece of information that is being presented to me that I am already well aware of, that it's super obvious, it doesn't even need to be said. Some things are super obvious that things do not need to be said. And if you don't have fresh, new information for me that is not super obvious and is not a reflection of the information that I know and the information that I give, then I will be open to receiving it. It's kind of interesting, when you're thinking about a same-sex relationship, that, do you like the reflection in the mirror that is being presented back to you? Well, there's certain things that I do like and have grown to like, and I want to really make that clear, is that I've grown and I have acquired those things. But there's parts of that reflection that I'm looking at in the mirror that I don't like. It's like parts of my face. Like there's dry skin on my nose. There's, like all those kind of things like that. So looking at yourself in the mirror is a metaphor. And I mean, we can really see ourselves through the eyes of other people. We can really get to know a lot about ourselves as individuals through other people. And so when other people give us those things that are a reflection of us that we do not like, we can judge them for it. So the answer is not judgment. The answer is asserting yourself and speaking your truth and feeling what you're feeling and coming from that place of intuitively saying the right thing from that space inside of you. And it may be, guess what, I don't want to hear it. The South Node in Sagittarius is not coming into this life so that they can preach to other people and expect people to just listen and be open to receive. People are going to be open, but don't expect people to be open when you're presenting the information in a judgmental and dictatorial kind of way where you are the master and you know all, and people are not as intellectually intelligent as you are. Like that, people are not going to be open to receiving that, and they're not going to be open to adhering to that information. People do not want to be preached at, including me. No one wants to be preached at. It can feel good to you and it can make total sense to you because that is how you live your life and that's what makes sense for you. But you don't know the other person's life experience. You don't know what is going on in their minds. You don't know. So do not just assume that every single person is a clone to you with different voice, different interests, but like everyone's different. I mean, different. Not a clone of you walking around having the same set of beliefs and the same philosophy over life and feeling secure about these same things and can live this life. No, absolutely not. So you assume that people get it and you assume that people are going to agree to that and be open to listening to it and understand where you're coming from and doing all those things, but you know, I don't know. It's just everybody else is on, a different level. And Gemini as a sign deals with the multiplicity and the duality of life. There is light and there is dark. There's option A and option B. There are differences. Within the larger details of things. So when you dig into the details of life, you can see the complexity. You can see I made an assumption to this person and I was projecting my reality. And actually, when I dig deep into what's actually going on, now I can get a better view of when I zoom in to, okay, well, this person is feeling this and, thinking this way and experiencing this. So let me offer my wisdom with the understanding of what this person's going through. And let me open my heart. And let me warm up. Let me make myself warmer, more nurturing, more loving, and in a way where this person is going to listen and receive the message that I have to share. Now, there are certain things about people that make up who they are and they're natural. And I'm not saying change the parts of yourself that are who you are. However, everyone has flaws. Everyone has a shadow side. And it is about releasing the shadow side and choosing to speak and act from the highest or the higher vibration for the highest good of the other person, for the highest good of ourselves and the all. But speaking and acting from the higher vibration of ourselves. That's what it really comes down to. So all of this is to say that if something feels off or if something doesn't resonate or make sense when a guru or somebody else is telling you, I have the answers, I have your answers, then the North Node in Gemini is not about blind faith. It is about asking questions. It's about opening the mind. It's about being curious. It's about being open to learning, willing to learn. It's about speaking to what nobody else is speaking to. It is about necessarily updating and freshening up your sense of truth via opening up to the world around you, gaining new information. Is this truth really true? Does this need revamping? Does this need rewiring? And maybe there is more information, because the South Node and Sagittarius can, limit themselves with thinking that they know all the information, that I've gone as far as I can, and then they just want to escape learning and escape engaging and participating in the world, because they just want to go off and they, want to do their, Sagittarian thing. The North Node in Gemini is about participation. That's what it comes down to. How will you participate and interact with people in life? You're not climbing Mount Fuji and Everest for your answers. You are engaging with the world that is around you in your backyard, and you're understanding where people are coming from, to the point where you don't preach to people. So that's just my message. I actually have another video I did on the South Node in Sagittarius, North Node in Gemini placement. I will link that down below. I will also maybe put a card to it in this video, who knows. But anyway, I hope that you found value from this video, and I hope that you found this interesting and, stimulating mentally. And I'll see you on another video. Keep well. Bye for now.